you don't. But all of us on this call have started new GBS organizations and also transformed existing ones. And in the book, you share 5 principles for starting a GBS journey. And I just wondered, in starting out on this journey, is there any experiences you'd like to share with others, particularly mistakes you are prepared to admit?
Ma- Maybe I can start with two
Yeah.
sort of typical mistakes that I've made and that I've seen others make as well. One is if you start with the GBS transformation and you start changing any part of the business, it's sort of tempting to sort of say, I got this, don't worry about it. You're not gonna notice anything. It'll be fine. Um, and sort of overpromise how easy the journey is going to be.
Mm,
And it never is. It just never is, right? There's always something dumb going wrong somewhere, either in the organization, the tech, or the data, or the process, or whatever. Something goes wrong, and then people look at you and say, "Well, you said this was going to be easy. You said this was going to be, and now you're impacting the business." And so that sort of promising that it'll be fine is not good. And the one thing I've learned there is set and manage expectation, which means every time you start a change project as a GBS, just be honest about the fact that it's change means turbulence. Change means things will be rocky for a while, and it's just unavoidable. Um, and the second sort of is um, the how to change, right? How to make a change, and you can either go big bang with a big bang approach and change a whole chunk of activity in one go, or you can go small step by step.
mm,
And what I've probably done wrong various times is taken the wrong recipe for the wrong problem. So go big bang where actually agile small should have been better, and vice versa. Go agile
yeah.
small where big bang should have been better. Um, and 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 both are good options if you apply them to the right circumstances. But if you apply it to the wrong circumstances, it becomes a dog's breakfast, right?
You want to add anything, Matthias?
Yeah, I never make mistakes. Everybody knows that. I would say building on what Robert said, the one thing I've learned a little bit is this there's a little bit of a fallacy by saying let's start with the transactional work and the simple stuff,
Ah.
and then later we're going to move to more of the advanced capabilities. I think that there's not a or. I actually think you can do both at the same time. I actually recommend you cast a much wider net around GBS, and the way I've come around that is bringing executives of my companies to peers that have done that, where they see the talent, they see the output, they see the value.
Mm,
Their eyes get very hungry very quickly and say,
mm,
I want that. And I don't want the traditional kind of 1990s, 2000 more transactional driven GBS. So my what I've learned is once you are positioned more in a transactional corner, and that's your brand, it's extremely hard
mm,
to get out of that because people now paint you in that corner and that's where you play. It's very hard to then get progressively over years and decades kind of up the curve. And I see many of my peers have been struggling with that to convince their executives to give them a broader, kind of a broader hunting ground. So that's certainly one where I always recommend people cast a quite an aggressive vision of the value that a GBS construct can deliver to the company. I
mm,
think I think the other piece is which I've made this mistake, and I still see many people around me doing the same. And I kind of now that I'm aware of it, it kind of it makes me a little bit, sad in a way, is when GBS professionals meet, the first question is always, how many people do you have in your GBS? Because it's a badge of honor. If you have 1,000 or 5,000 or
yeah.
7,000, it shows how successful you are for the company to give you all this work. And where are your hubs? And what functions are in your remit, right? So we always like have this like bingo card comparison, but you never hear a chef say, oh, I operate 7 kitchens and 20 cooks, and it doesn't matter. It's what are the experiences, what are the outputs, what is the value that you generate? And
Yeah.
too much I see people in GBS, because sometimes we are positioned more as an appendix. We're almost fighting for this recognition in companies. So headcount becomes almost like the yardstick of our success. The more headcount, the more successful we are. And I've been guilty on that, right? You start even internally, like we've now 5,000 people, and then people around the room go like, so maybe that's too much, right? And it kind of like you get into you get unintentionally into a much different conversation. So I always recommend people to really focus on the value that you deliver every day, and especially why GBS is, quite frankly, in the construct, is the only one that's capable of delivering such value. Because to Robert's earlier point, we stitch things together across functions. GBS has the ability to take best practices from one market or geography to another. Nobody else has that. So that's the conversation I think we as leaders and GBS practitioners really need to hone in on. So next time you meet somebody in GBS, don't ask them how many people are in your GBS, but ask them about what experiences and value did you deliver to your business the last 6 months.